Strategic retirement for an IFA. Okay, I'm going to continue to call the MFD also an IFA because I do think that the MFD, whatever the regulator thinks, is going to handhold the end customer and lead him to good investments. That is the job of a mutual fund distributor, and that's what happens. It doesn't matter what the regulator says, who should do what. In reality, this is what happens, right? So I sit and discuss with my broker what share to buy and what share to sell. Technically, the law says I should have a financial advisor or somebody who can give me broking advice, and the broker should only execute. I don't know, I don't live in the same ivory tower where others live, but I do think that, but the topic today is the strategic retirement of a financial advisor. Why am I calling it strategic? Because other than being fired or losing your practice for some reason or death, there is no other reason why it wouldn't be planned, right? So your planned exit, whenever it is, maybe you're 52, maybe you're 53 and you want to exit at 60. Great, your children are not interested in what you're doing for whatever reasons, I'm not getting into it. You don't have anybody else who wants to take, so it has to be one employee of yours or a partner whom you seek outside. So if you're 55 years or 52 years of age, look at somebody who's 35 years and see whether psychologically you can get along, and whether that person is hungry, whether that person wants to do more business, or whether that person is also satisfied and not wanting to grow, and for whatever reasons. But that person has to be hungry and wanting to grow. And so first of all, if you are an IFA who has put in 20-25 years, you have created a wealth. You have created your wealth is not just in what is lying in your bank or in your demat account, but wealth is in the list of people who listen to you and take your advice, right? So maybe that list has got 20 people, 30 people, 30 families or 50 families or whatever, and they're accustomed to listening to you, right? Customer means a person who's accustomed to listening to you, and you want to leave them in safe hands. So make sure that the transition is easy. After a life's work, you do not want somebody to come and mess up and your clients suffering. Maybe you're dead and gone, maybe you're alive, maybe you're 90 years of age, and 30 years later somebody meets on the road, says, Subra, after you, your firm just messed up my money. You don't want to hear that. So be very careful about leaving your work in good hands. You were to retire whenever you were planning to retire, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years in advance. You need to hire a person, decide on the compensation, get that person also to do business, because that person is not just taking over as an employee, is taking over as the owner, right? Decide on how the compensation should be. The compensation could be very simple. It could be maybe you get 90% of what you're earning in the first year. By the time you transition to the fifth year, you're gone to 50-50, and after that you keep dropping and say, okay, at some stage I want only 20% of the revenues that I was bringing in, but that will be held constant till I die or till the age of 75 or 85, whatever. Right? So you can draw up those things, not so difficult. You want to leave with a peace of mind that it has gone to good hand. Leave on your terms. Write down the terms and conditions which you want. If it's a private limited company, do you want them to pay for your medical insurance for the rest of your life? That could be a condition that you put, so that the total compensation looks smaller, but some of these expenses are met. Whether you will get to use the firm's car, whether you want to do that, because the firm may want the depreciation, you may not want the depreciation. Get a chartered accountant and consider whether you will take a salary or will take a share of the profit. One could mean that you could claim depreciation and other things for your home usage. Maybe air conditioner, maybe a car. So consider all those things. So leave on your terms. Think about the repercussions of the clients walking out, of the new clients being added, or whether you will be still talking to your clients, getting their children to start investing with you, right? So those are things which you find out first of all, what you will do, what you will not do, what you will do together, what the new firm will do. Remember, you may not be heard at all after some time. Maybe after 5 years they may not need you at all, and they may say, okay, here is the full and final payment and just stay away from us. Anything is perfectly possible. Then find out whether this is the company where you will want to give your money, right? So if you are saying no, then something is wrong. Check out the culture that you are leaving. Think about yourself. Think about what will happen, that if I don't retire now, what happens? Think of that also, because if you are 52 and you don't retire now and you die at 55 or 57, then you would have missed out on doing many things which you wanted to do. So there is uncertainty regarding that. There is uncertainty that you will die early. What if I die after, if I retire too soon but I don't die till 92, which means you got 40 years of retired life. So if you have the money and you have other pursuits to do it, and be a part-time person here, be in an advisory role, come twice a week, thrice a week, and you can maybe do that till you're 70, right? So do those things, and also find out what will change in your life after this. Will you continue to be present on media? Will you continue to do some training? Will you continue to meet IFAs will you attend annual conventions, right? So what is your retirement from your firm? What is your retirement from the industry? Are two completely different things. Then none of us, of course, know what the future holds for us. We may die young. We may panic, like many of us did in March 2020. Strategic requirement requires extensive planning for all such scenarios. That what happens when you retire and you hit a pandemic, right? Financial upside, financial downside, be protected for all that. The last thing you want to wake up and say, oh, I'm going to quit today, and because I'm bored and things like that. You'll never be able to quit today. You will always have to transition. You cannot tell a client that I will not handle your work, I'm too late, I'm too old, I don't want to do. None of that, right? You can say that to a new client. You can't say that to an existing client. So go back to what I said earlier. You have to leave your business in safe hands. So come up with your how much money you want. There are enough calculators. I'm not talking about it because I have not used these calculators for a long time. But many mutual funds have a calculator. Many international calculators are available. Many domestic people have put up calculators, right? So just go check out on some of those. Free FinCal is a calculator which I have used in the past, but that was long ago. I do not know whether Pattu has updated it recently. So come out with your own net worth target, taxable, how much investment do you want, how much money is already there in your provident fund. You've got a younger person who is your partner, ask that person to review whatever you have, or if you don't want to mix your personal money with your firm money, that's fine. Get somebody else to come and check and review your portfolio. Also understand that you need to appoint somebody, or at least have somebody in mind who will look after your investments after you turn 70. Keep a hard stop like 70, and not like, oh, when my brain stops working kind of a thing. You will never accept that you have dementia. You will never accept that you have problems. So say hard stop. At the age of 70, I want my daughter to look after my investments. I want my son to look after my investments, or I want my partner to look after my investments. Or I found somebody younger who is 20 years younger to me and who's promised to be continuing in this business to come and review. I like that person, and based on that I may move to an index fund and an annuity because I've created enough corpus. So please understand that your personal life and your advising life are joined at the hip. You cannot really separate them. Build good relationship with all your clients, transition it very smoothly, right? So do all these things. Take care of the money, take care of the finances, take care of the money and the finances, personal and business. Talk to clients, do the transition very smoothly. Identify 10 clients whom you will talk to every month and do the transition, and say, I will be here for another 6 months. After that, she is going to handle it or he is going to handle it. Create that network if you have not already created. All this is necessary for strategic retirement. Why am I calling it strategic? Because it is planned and executed in such a nice way that the transition becomes very smooth. If you don't do this, the change could be very abrupt. If you died and the client didn't know what happened, he's going to panic, he's going to come home and he's going to ask for statements. It could turn out very nasty for the people you leave behind. So be careful, do this, plan your strategic succession. Thank you.